On the news, they say it's a ceasefire. They say there would be rare talks between Lebanon and Israel sponsored by Washington. But on the ground in Lebanon, there's exchange of drones, airstrikes, explosions, expansions, occupation, and then the most recent, the killing of a journalist and attacks on paramedics. Is it really a ceasefire? The next report from Lebanon tells you more.
Tensions are spiking on the Israel-Lebanon front, even as a US-brokered ceasefire hangs by a thread. Hezbollah has fired rockets and drones into northern Israel, accusing Israeli forces of violating the truce and targeting civilians in southern Lebanon. Israel, however, calls it a blatant violation. The IDF says it intercepted a drone, struck the launch site, and continues to target what it describes as Hezbollah infrastructure embedded in civilian areas. This is despite a 10-day ceasefire that came into effect just last week. But on the ground, the reality is far from calm. Israeli troops remain deployed inside southern Lebanon, in a strip of 5 to 10 kilometers deep, in a so-called forward defense line meant to push Hezbollah back from its border. In Lebanon, that line has another name: occupation. And the warning from Beirut is clear. Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri, a key Hezbollah ally, says if Israel stays, it will smell the scent of resistance every day. Divisions run deep. Lebanon's leadership is pushing for Israeli withdrawal from the country, while Israel's defense establishment is clear: Hezbollah must be disarmed one way or another. And hanging over it all is Iran. Hezbollah says it will not disarm. The Lebanese group says it wants the ceasefire to continue, but on the basis of full compliance by Israel.
We want to continue with the truce, but on the basis of full compliance by the Israeli enemy. Full compliance means a halt to assassinations, a complete ceasefire, a cessation of aggression, a halt to the bulldozing of villages, a halt to the destruction of villages, and then paving the way for the enemy's withdrawal through procedures undertaken by the Lebanese state, but not via direct negotiations.
Tehran wants any broader deal with Washington to include Israel's campaign against Hezbollah. The US says there is no link. On the battlefield, that distinction means little. Since March 2nd, this conflict has killed thousands in Lebanon, displaced over 1 million, and reopened a front that many feared would erupt. Grief has taken over Lebanon. Mourners in Tyre attended a funeral for people killed during the war, including Hezbollah members who had been buried in a temporary cemetery and are now being reburied in their home village.
The martyr meant everything in our lives. My cousin was like a brother to me.
In these wars, I lost my son, my grandson, and my son-in-law. My son-in-law was a hero.
Now, with the ceasefire set to expire in days, the question is no longer whether the truce is holding, but whether anyone still controls what comes next.